I'm trying to figure out, am I the last person to talk about her? Well, hello there everybody, I'm Photo Dave, this is Toypixx, and in this video, we're talking Chun-Li. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know I'm a picky guy, which generally means I end up with pricier figures, because they're the ones that come with all the things, they're the ones that have all the articulation, so that's where I gravitate toward. But one thing you might not know is nothing makes me happier than finding a figure with a 7 out of 7 photo score for only 25 bucks. Now, before we really get into this, remember that the QR code at the bottom of this video is there so you can scan it and get your free action figure photography guide, since I figure if you're watching my stuff, you want to know about action figure photography. So, yeah, that's there for you. There's also a link in the video description in case you want to go old school, which is kind of what I tend to do. Also, at the end of this video, I'll be putting up today's Toypixx photo so that you can check that out, because again, action figure photography channel. And then I'll be talking a little bit about today's Patreon freebie. Remember that everything I put on Patreon, absolutely free to you. So game on there. Now, without further ado, let's get into some Chun-Li chat, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, here she is. We have Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Ultra Chun-Li, and yeah, she's another banger from Jada. As far as how she looks, I mean, you've probably seen plenty of reviews of her by now. I'm sure that I'm not the first, because I've seen multiple things that other people have been saying. One of the things I really appreciate is she's got kind of a matte coat. It's not super glossy. The lights are making her look a lot glossier than she is. She is a little glossy on the face, but, you know, I still think it looks really good, so I try not to bust her too hard there. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit of gloss, but the paint looks good, she looks good. We've got her in her classic Street Fighter pose, of course. Backing it out a little more. Get a bit of a jump. Still don't know how to use my phone camera. Anywho. Yeah, she just looks really good. The paint is really good. Jada is pretty much killing it. They have some competition in the $25 arena, but I have to say, aside from G.I. Joe Classified, there aren't any other lines out there, I think, you know, personally, that really can touch what Jada's doing with Street Fighter 2. These figures are just great, and they come with enough stuff for me to give them 7 out of 7 photo scores, so that's pretty cool too. Speaking of the stuff, we've got her kind of screaming, yelling head. Back this off a bit. Good stuff. They just do good stuff. You even got some paint in the yellow there. Up on, I have no idea what to call those things, the white parts there hanging down. But if we really zoom in, you can see some of that yellow going on. She just looks incredible. And because I'm assuming you've seen other people's stuff, you know that she also comes with a couple fists. Because Street Fighter 2, man, violence. Play that game. And now beside that, I want to show off one thing that was kind of a problem for me anyway. I'm not sure it's going to be a problem with you. Your mileage may vary, but attaching this kicking effect to the stem here, the post, was kind of tricky. I had to set the hairdryer on ultra hot, ultra high, so that I could bend it enough to get that piece inside there. It's not just a straight peg, it's kind of a mushroom cap, and a really tiny hole there. So I had to kind of stretch it out quite a bit, put that in, but aside from that, it looks great. So yeah, that was the main problem with accessories, was just that. But now that it's in there, it's staying, I ain't taking it out, and I'll forget it was a problem in another week or so. As for Chun-Li's articulation, she has all the stuff you'd expect if you've been collecting Jada's Street Fighter line. She does have, I will say on mine, Her head is a little loose, just this main head here. I mean, it's more than a little loose, it's pretty rough. The other head, it fits perfectly. But just be aware of that. That's something that we can all easily fix. Just put something up there in the peg or in the neck, it's in the head itself. Good Lord, words, and we can tighten that up. But if you don't want to do that, I've been hearing that Jada Toys customer service is exceptional. So if you get stuff and it's loose and floppy and a mess, it sounds like you can get a hold of them and they'll take care of it, which I think's pretty rad. Now, one other point to call out here, just because it's different than the other figures, is she doesn't have a butterfly joint. She does have some articulation, a little bit of range at that shoulder though. So you can see here, she's got, it's like it comes in just a touch, and if you want, you can twist this a little. I do love that the bicep is hidden underneath the sleeve. I think, like right here, you can see the sleeve is over the arm. I think that's really cool. That's the joint. Okay, but yeah, you can go across pretty well. It's not terrible. So I think it's going to be enough. I'm pretty stoked about that. I think that'll work for me. I mean, you saw that I pretty much had her in the classic Street Fighter II pose. The one thing was that because there's no other joint there to bring this elbow in, or the shoulder in just a little bit, you couldn't get the arm to go across like it should have. Also, this is hard plastic, so in the image, it kind of looks like the arm goes in front of her chest a little bit, and you're not going to be able to make that happen just because, you know, two things taking up space in the same spot. Not a thing that's going to happen. But aside from all that, I think you're going to be pretty pleased. As far as the torso, because I'm always looking at torso when it comes to articulation. That's my big deal. She goes forward some. It's not as crazy as Fei Long and Ryu. Let's see here. Maybe I'm not going hard enough. Nope, that's pretty much it. But she's going to have plenty of that going on. So for photography purposes, Chun-Li is fantastic. You don't have any kind of weird cuts. You don't have any kind of swivel there. You don't have a waist cut, which is, I don't know if you know this. If you've been watching the Fwoosh for any time, you probably know Robo hates flocking. Me? I kind of feel the same way about waist cuts. I might make an exception here and there, but waist cuts overall to me are just gross, outdated articulation that should have been gone a long time ago. But yeah, there's just a quick rundown of what she's got. Again, I'm not showing everybody absolutely everything because I got this way late. Reviews are already up. If you want to see a big time breakdown, you can find them. Just things that I find a little more interesting when it comes to photography. So, there you go. Now, let's get into some size comparisons, shall we? Now some final thoughts on Chun-Li. I'm going to be honest, folks. I'm really blown away by what Jada's doing with these Street Fighter figures, so I'm probably all in, especially at the $25 price point, so I'm pretty excited about her. Anything else I'm thinking of? I mean, I forgot to record a bit about how you photograph her. She doesn't really have any kind of shiny paint on her, but I would still probably diffuse the lights, unless you're trying to get some kind of really harsh shadow. So one of the things I do to just make diffusing really easy, because right now I only have one diffuser, is if I need to diffuse a second light, I'll put a piece of like paper towel over the light. Or I've got lights that I can also increase the brightness. Wow, speaking really needs to be worked on here. Clearly, I'm still out of practice, where I can increase the brightness on those lights, and I can also make them a little darker so they don't hit quite as hard. So there are just a few things that you can do. Now sometimes you want harsh light when you want to cast shadow, but overall for Chun-Li here with her matte paint job, she looks remarkable, and I think diffusing light and hitting her with some softer light is probably going to get you the better results, the ones that most people are looking for anyway. But yeah, I think she's an easy pickup, so if you've been considering her, go get her. Stop considering. She needs your money. It's Throwback Thursday, so today's Toypixx photo comes to us from 2021. Man, that was a long time ago. It's a photo I did of the Star Wars Black Series Ahsoka as she appeared in Season 7 of Clone Wars. Now remember, scan the QR code there. She'll be all over the Twitter/X, and you can comment with your own throwback photo, because that's where the fun's at for me. I want to see how everybody's improving. I want to see how things are progressing. But yeah, there's Ahsoka. Also, again, there'll be a regular link in the video description. As for today's Patreon giveaway, I just did a video featuring Chun-Li, and I'm stoked about the Street Fighter figures, so I decided, let's bring them, pull them a little bit from the 90s, put them in today, and I created an Octagon image. So your Street Fighter figures can have the Octagon in the background, they can be throwing down, all kinds of good stuff there. There's the QR code with the image on it. All you have to do, scan that, head to Patreon. Like I say, the things I put on Patreon are free for all, so feel free to go grab yourself an Octagon. And again, you can go old school and click the link in the video description. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what I've got for today. Yeah, get you a Chun-Li. That's all I've got. Comment below, let me know, are you really excited about what Jada's doing with her Street Fighter line? And are you gonna keep going and try and pick them all up? Because right now, honestly, I think I am. It's very strange to look at a line and decide, I'm going all in, but they're earning the money, so I'm happy to be doing it. And with that, thanks as always for checking out the vid, and until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.